Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy Thursday. In this video, we are looking at the two-game NBA slate for today. We got the Miami Heat looking to finish off the Sixers, and we got the Suns looking to finish off the Mavs. I'm hoping for both of these games to go into Game 7 so we can get some more games to play for DFS, more slates. But let's go ahead and get into it. As always, if you enjoy the picks, appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out all the socials down below in the description. Twitter, website, prize picks code, all down there. Looking at the point guard plays to start us off, we have Luka Doncic at 11-5. He has played pretty solidly throughout the series. Last game, they lost by 30, but Luka still tried his best to keep his team in it. Nobody else stepped up on the road. He shot okay at 10 of 23. It wasn't terrible. He finished with 28 points, 11 rebounds. Only had 2 assists, but that was because his team only scored 80 points and none of his teammates were coming through for him and hitting shots. So I still like to get to Luka today. He's 11-5, but this is a must-win game for them. They're at home. I think Luka's going to have probably his best performance of the series. Take a lot of shots, be aggressive, play monstrous minutes. So a lot to like here with Luka even though he's expensive. Other picks at point guard would be going down a bit to Devin Booker. He's been way better than Chris Paul throughout the series. Chris Paul even dealing with some foul trouble in one game, but still, Chris Paul has dropped below 10 points in 3 straight games. And just hasn't looked as aggressive offensively. 7 points last game, 5. He finished with 12 3 games ago. But still, I have way more confidence in going to Devin Booker for 800 more than going to Chris Paul. And it seems like Booker and Luka have some sort of rivalry going back and forth. So you could see them try to match each other shot for shot. Harden at 87. He did have a good game against the Miami Heat 2 games ago when they were back in Philly. Last game on the road, he struggled. Still hasn't been shooting the ball well from distance. Last game, he was 2.5 threes on Prize Picks. That was a good spot to take the under. But I'd probably like to get to Booker than go to Harden. I think Booker's just been more consistent. I can trust Booker more than trust James Harden. Going further down here at 64, you have Maxey at home, who, once again, with Embiid back, hasn't been as aggressive offensively, and that is to be expected. Embiid is the highest usage player on the team. Compile that with the fact that Tobias is playing a little bit better. Harden is still going to be looking for his shots at times. Maxey's been a lot more scoring dependent. So I think you can go to Brunson instead for 100 less. If you're looking to get to the Mavs here, I don't think the Mavs will win, and I think the Sixers will win. So that's the teams I'm looking to get most of my players from. We still got good value on the Miami side with Kyle Lowry being ruled out. So still like to get to some of the value pieces on Miami, just to open up the door to pay up for some superstars. But they did price up. Victor Oladipo is up to 56. He's only 400 less than Tyler Hero, who only played 21 minutes last game, 22, but they won by 35, so didn't need him to play well much more than that. He didn't play great. He didn't look for his shot too much, but we know he still has opportunities to absolutely catch fire from distance. And for 400 more than Oladipo, I would go to Hero over Oladipo. Oladipo has played well recently. Only played 18 minutes last game with the blowout, but he did play well in those minutes. He's a spot where you can probably take the over on his points. Probably if it's at 10.5 or 11.5, he's going to get a lot more minutes. And we saw him play the entire second quarter last game against Philly. I don't mind getting to Gabe Vincent at 44. He got some more minutes at the end of the game, but he started the game at point guard. Didn't have a good first quarter, which is why Oladipo played the whole second quarter, and Oladipo was playing well. But still, they're going to give Gabe Vincent north of 20 minutes. Probably closer to 25 to 28. So at that price tag, probably looks the best out of the Miami Heat guys from Oladipo, Hero, just based on the price tag. Dinwiddie only played 15 minutes last game with the blowout, and he also played terribly. After having a couple of decent games, games that weren't great, but they wouldn't kill you for fantasy, had his worst performance in a while throughout the playoffs. So he's okay, but I don't have great confidence in him. And only other guy you can maybe look at is Shake Milton, but don't think he will play a lot of minutes unless the game gets out of hand. Over at shooting guard, I like Brunson's price at 63. Brunson's played a lot better in the games in Dallas, as to be expected. A young player in the playoffs, they tend to do better. Even veterans at times tend to do better when they're at home in front of their home crowd. Probably won't be able to get to James Harden here at 87. I'm going further down here a little bit to Max Strus had a great game for them. He's 51. Once again, he's a guy that has played well in Miami. In Philly, didn't have great games. He only combined for 15 points. So another guy that I don't know if you can trust him too much. with the game being on the road. So I like Brunson at home, though. I don't have much interest in anybody else here. Over at small forward, Butler's 98. He looks solid. He continued to play well last game. He's been able to shoot the ball really well, just getting easy looks at the basket, getting some mid-range, which is his game. He's even hit a couple of threes recently. We know he's going to get you some assists, especially without Kyle Lowry, get you rebounds. So he's fine, but I still like to get to Luka today at home, and I think I would rather get to EMBIID for 100 less than Butler on the road. Bridges looks fine at 55, but I like Finney-Smith at 50 or 57. I like Finney-Smith at 55. He's going to go back to playing monster minutes today. He didn't have a good game, as the whole team didn't, besides Luka, but still, you got 37 minutes out of him in a 30-point loss. You're probably going to get 40 plus out of him tonight. The guy that did play well at home. In one game, he had knocked down 8 threes. I like Finney-Smith for 500 more than Reggie Bullock. Bullock's just mainly been a 3-point shooter and gets you some rebounds, but Finney-Smith gives you more upside in general. And I don't mind getting to Danny Green here at 42. He's actually shot the ball really well recently from distance, and that's something you can kind of count on from, well, not always count on from Green, but at least at home he's done a lot better than on the road. He went 10 of 15 or 10 of 13 3-pointers at home. Made 2 of 4 last game, so he still was semi hot, even though he made 50%. He'll get you some defensive stats, maybe some rebounds. At 42, for a guy that does give you some upside, he still gives you a very low floor because we know he can get ice cold as well. But right now, his shot's falling. Sixers are going to continue to give him some easy looks, and he has been getting some more open looks now that EMBIID is back. When EMBIID was out the first 2 games, he was not getting open looks because they weren't doubling EMBIID, so he was always being guarded. And at this point, Danny Green, he's not a guy that can really shoot contested shots at a very good clip. So at 42, I'll take him. I can also go to Cam Johnson at 45 as a decent option. Over at power forward, Maxi Kleber, his price tag has come up a little bit. I still think he's a good play. He didn't play good last game, but they just want to give him more minutes than Dwight Powell. But I'm going with Finney-Smith at 55. Just like the price tag on him, and I think him, Brunson, Doncic are going to have to do most of the scoring. As usual, in the games that they have won, those 3 have stepped up nicely. Cam Johnson has decent value. Niang has a decent value. Maybe you can go to Bertans, but I don't want to overload on the Mavs side. But Bertans has shot the 3 well. He's a guy that, they'll give him some minutes. If he's shooting the ball well, we'll get some more. He got some run and blowout last game, but if he's playing better than like Reggie Bullock, then he might get some extra minutes here. But wouldn't expect him to get 20 minutes, maybe like 10 to 15. Over at center, where I'll get to EMBIID, I just refuse to believe that EMBIID won't have at least one monster game at home, or even in general throughout the postseason. At least in this series, he hasn't had it yet. He's dealing with that face injury. Got hit in the face once again last game, but he was able to stick it out and show some toughness, as he is pretty tough, dealing with that thumb issue and concussion and that orbital fracture. Price tag is now below 10K. I just think he's going to have to step up. This is a must-win game for the Sixers. EMBIID was a little bit cold to start the game, but he still shot decently, 7 of 12. You'll take it. Didn't get to the free throw line as much, but expect a very aggressive EMBIID. His point total should go climb throughout the day. I think a lot of people will be on the over on his points, even though he hasn't come through yet. But this is the type of game where you expect EMBIID to step up. So that's what I got. Sixers winning tonight. Mavs winning tonight. That's one of my predictions. That's it for DraftKings. Let's go ahead and look at FanDuel. All right, over on FanDuel, I plugged in Luka Doncic at the point guard position. I like him more than, even though there's a big gap, but Luka at home in a must-win game, it's a little bit tough to fade him. Chris Paul is nicely priced. You won't get that much ownership because he's let a lot of people down recently. So you can go to him if you just wanted to be contrarian, but I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't do that myself. Maxi's okay at 65, but I'd rather get to Brunson for a couple hundred less. And then you got some good price tags on Gabe Vincent at 45. Oladipo's 5K is all right, but his price tag has come up on both sides. And then if you think Dinwiddie can bounce back, he's only 43. Over at shooting guard, I plugged in Brunson at 62. I like Luke, definitely Luka if you want to play him at shooting guard. Definitely Booker at 93 looks good as well. I like him for 1,100 more than Chris Paul. And then value-wise, decent price tag on Reggie Bullock at 46. Danny Green looks decent at 42. And Tyler Hero at 60 or 57 is a pretty solid price tag as well. Small forward, I plugged in Max Strus because he's only $4,700. I know he's a little bit hit or miss, shooting dependent, but last time he did have 10 plus rebounds. He had double-double with rebounds and points. So it does maybe, if he can continue to get some rebounds, that'll help him. But the price tag is just solid at 46. You can easily get up to Hero if you wanted to for 1,000, 1,100 more. But I don't mind getting a little bit cheaper with Max Strus. And then do like getting to maybe like PJ Tucker, you can make a case for at 45 just because he plays a lot of minutes. Make a case for Danny Green for sure at 42. And that's kind of it. Over at power forward, look at the price tag on Finney Smith. He's only 52. Another guy is definitely Maxi Kleber at 45. Like those two are really nicely priced. You might want to, well, I might get to like at least 3 Mavs, maybe 4 if I'm able to get to Maxi Kleber there as well. Tucker, same price tag. Cam Johnson for 100 less. Those are the guys I'm looking at. Not looking at anybody in the 3K range much. And maybe you can make a case for Jay Crowder, dealing with some foul trouble last game and didn't shoot well. And then at center, EMBIID, sub 10K on both sides, $9,800. Think he's going to have a monster game today. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if the game is close, which last game wasn't close, the game's in Philly. Sixers won both. EMBIID was just coming back from injury. So we got his legs under him more now. Hopefully the conditioning is solid, which I do expect it to be. And EMBIID should be looking at monster minutes today. They maybe were a little bit cautious with him originally, like 36 to 38. But if you wouldn't be surprised if he touches 40 minutes, if not 41, today if the game is super close or if they're trailing. Other case could be made for DeAndre Ayton at 69. And if I was playing Maxi, I'd play Kleber at 45 at the power forward position. And that's all for the video. So thanks for watching. Best of luck tonight. Stay tuned for any updates on Twitter. If anything changes, I'll let you guys know. And I'll see you all next time.